tomorrow, Ellie House. Stay locked in between the lines and Coach Stella.
The 10-meter dome is a medium-sized inflatable structure from our Airbnb collection, measuring 10 meters in diameter, 5 meters high, and offering 60 meters of usable floor space. The 10-meter dome has a capacity of 110 standing, 50 people seated dining staff. The 10-meter dome can be installed in as little as an hour, great for any event. With a wind rating of 55 miles per hour, we are proud to say that it's the highest wind rating for any inflatable structure. For more information and bookings, visit us at www.annexevents.com.
Yep. Shout out Slim with the tilted brim. Between the lines of Coach Stella, week 6. We in the building.
You know it.
I'm L.
Coach
to
Stella,
my right.
baby. You know what's up.
Coach Stella.
I'm here, brother.
What's up, man? How you feeling?
Week 6. I'm feeling good, bro.
It's week 6,
past
man.
The halfway point. Game's about to get, I ain't going to say better because we done had some good games.
Indeed.
I'll say a little more important. Coming down the stretch, getting closer to playoff seeding. The playoff seedings is out, bro. So I'm excited, bro. You know,
Indeed.
anytime I'm in the house with you and nephew, though, it's always a good time. Sit here, chop it up, bro.
Indeed,
we just getting recorded and we put it
Shout out my son.
Shout out nephew on the ones and twos.
You know what I'm saying? Lid on the boards.
You know it.
Man, week 6, man. Season 3.
Yes, sir, bro. Season 3, week 6, bro.
Man, it felt good, man. It felt good. Shout out to everybody who tuning in to Between the Lines of Coach Stella.
No doubt.
Y'all could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with us.
We appreciate it.
And we appreciate it,
All
man.
up.
And we ain't gonna hold you, man. Let's get right into it, man.
Talk
we
to
had
me,
a
bro.
great
What you
week
got
of
for me?
football again, man. We gonna start out with the StellaScope Recap, right?
Yep. I'm gonna jump right into it, bro.
These are a few games that, you know what I'm saying, Coach wanted us to keep our eyes on, and he kept his eyes on. He gonna give us an analysis. So take it away, Coach.
No doubt, man. I just had 2 this week, man. Normally, I like to try to do 3. My normal thinking, I like to do 1 Trimble-Mahoney County, 1 Cleveland area, 1 Akron-Canton area. But I just went 2, man. So the first one that caught my eye was Canton-McKinley at Maston Perry. 2 Federal League teams, 2 good teams, 2 good programs. And McKinley got it done, 28-18, bro. This kid, Kylan West, man, he having a pretty good start to the year, man. I'm definitely hopping on the internet or reading the paper every week to see what the kid is doing. This week he had 13 carries for 192 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's a little bit over. That's almost 12 yards a carry. You know what I mean? So he getting it done, man. Shout out to Trent Hayden, had 170 yards in the touchdown. His touchdown went to Darius Hill. Last week, we seen Darius Hill had 10 catches. This week, DJ Britt come back, get you 10 catches for 96 yards. So that let me know the offensive coordinator starting to get used to his talent. I got 2 big-time receivers. Whoever the defense try to take away, I'm just going to feed the other one.
Mm-hmm.
So they starting to groove. Totally, they ran for 302 yards rushing. So that means they had a big night, dominating the line of scrimmage. So the offense put up numbers. Shout out to Lanaz Brown, man, had a big pick. Maston Perry was driving in the red zone, trying to flip the momentum and get a late score. And Lanaz came back, got the pick. And I want to say the next play or a few plays later, Kylan West go 92 yards to the zone, 89 yards to the zone. So Canton McKinley playing good ball right now. They jumped out early, 14-0. They was winning 20-10 at the half. And they kind of just took Perry out of their flow. We seen Perry against Harding. They don't strike me as a team that wants to play from behind. You know what I mean? Because they like to run the ball. They like to pass when they want to. They're a balanced offense.
Mm-hmm.
But when they get down 14-0 or 20-10 at half, that kind of put them behind the 8 ball and kind of make them play a way they're not used to wanting to play. And I think that was good for McKinley just jumping out early, and now let's make it Maston kind of play our game. But shout out to Cam McKinley right now, bro. They playing good ball, 4-1. Shout out to Coach Renzi Purnell and the staff. They're doing a good job. And they in a good spot right now. Next week they got Green, who's 1-4. So we'll see if they be able to keep it going. On the other side, we just talked about it. Perry got down early, and that's not ideal for them. But Cameron Treehorn, Jonathan Lemon had solid games, scoring touchdowns. This still is a tough football team. They're in a tough conference. So they lost back-to-back weeks. But if you Maston Jackson next week or whoever has to play Perry the rest of the way, don't look at these back-to-back losses and take them lightly. You know what I mean? It's a good football team. They just happen to be playing in a tough conference. So shout out to Perry. Keep doing your thing. I know Coach Leno going to do a good job bouncing the kids back, ironing out the mistakes that they've seen from the last 2 weeks, and kind of continue to move it forward. So that was that game. McKinley over Perry, 28-18. The next game from our area I was looking at was Chardon coming down from Cleveland to play Youngstown Cardinal Mooney. Mooney had lost 2 back-to-back, 2 tough games, Canfield and Steubenville, 2 good teams. And I wanted to see how Mooney would bounce back and see what kind of resolve and how they would handle adversity. And they did a great job. Mooney won 27-14. Like I said, after losing back-to-back weeks, this is a big-time win. Not necessarily just based on Chardon, because Chardon is a good program, won a state championship a couple years ago, perennially always in the playoffs now. They're putting out good players in college, so it's a big-time program. But just the fact that they lost back-to-back weeks coming off the type of seasons they've been having. You know, sometimes when you ain't winning every year, it's easier for your kids to just give up to adversity, or we lost back-to-back. Oh, it's the same thing. So shout out to Coach Frank. Shout out to the leaders of the team. They're doing a great job over there, man. Got them guys back focused, cleaned up some things from them 2 weeks, and they came back and won 27-14. Got down early 7-0, and after that they end up scoring 27 unanswered points. You know what I mean? Against a good football team. So shout out to Mooney, man, getting it done. Defensively, they did a great job against the run. Anybody that knows Chardon wants to run the ball. Second thing they want to do is run the ball. The third thing Chardon want to do is run the ball. So to be able to keep them from running the ball and get up early and now make them play a style of play they don't want to play, I think that was big. Shout out to the front 7, Dom Letlow, Kawan Dean, Dewey Hurd, John Brenner, Rocco Zabel. They got a nice front 7 over there, and they did a good job playing against the run and taking that away. Offensively, it was all about the pass game this week. You know what I mean? Ike Lake having a big-time year. Shout out to Ike. But it was Mr. Gentile this week. Had 4 touchdown passes. He threw 2 to Big John Brenner, 1 to Kingston Powell, and 1 to Braden Bryant. So he's dinking and dunking and getting everybody involved. He's taking advantage of all the talent he got. He's hitting John Brenner down the middle. He's using Braden Bryant speed, getting deep down the field. And he's using Kingston. Kingston can kind of do a little bit of everything. So shout out to the staff. Shout out to Vince Gentile. Had a big night, big night, throwing 4 touchdowns, man. And they playing well right now. Good football team. That's another team that's playing against a tough schedule. Mooney, I mean. So this is a big win to bounce back. Next week, they at home against Boardman. Boardman 2-3, but Boardman got a couple tough wins and a couple tough losses. You know what I mean? So you can't take Boardman lightly. But Mooney playing some good football, man, and they slowly turning the tide, getting back to the Mooney we know and love, growing up playing against them guys over there. So I like what I'm seeing right now from Mooney. And they got a big win bouncing back after 2 losses. So shout out to Mooney, shout out to Cam McKinley getting it done in 2 big-time games.
Man, I look at those 2 games, and I see, Cam McKinley, Perry, and Mooney, they both have new coaches spearheading their movement. And we got to see Perry against Harding. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You can see that's a re-energized program. Yep. You see what Mooney doing, that's a re-energized program. And, of course, Cam McKinley, I told you prior to recording that, just watching them on film, they playing fast. Yeah. They playing fast, and they've been on the StellaScope a few weeks, and you mentioned different players almost every week. Yep. So it's like they in one of those positions with a new coach, new coaching staff, new energy, and every one of those kids that's getting a chance to play, feeling like they can put their name in the hat to get more reps. So
I can contribute to these wins.
Absolutely, absolutely. So with new leadership, it seems that Mooney, Perry, even though they lost to Camp McKinley, and Camp McKinley as well, that new leadership has invigorated those programs, and Camp McKinley playing real fast.
Yep, got some good juice going.
Exactly. Perry jumped out 3-0. They lost 2 back-to-back, but like we said, they jumped out 3-0, and we know they competing. You know what I'm saying? You see them competing.
No doubt.
And the same goes with Mooney getting that 27-14 win. That defense was playing fast, flying all over the
front
field.
7 is playing some big-time football right now, man.
Braden, the kids is handshaking and touchdown celebrating. So you could just tell, like,
energy good.
You could tell the energy
chemistry
and the swag
coming together.
So,
yep.
Man, shout out to all those guys and shout out to the StellaScope Recap.
No doubt, brother.
Now, we went back to this place. Let's keep it going. Go right into our Ellie House Game of the week.
You know it, bro.
We went back to that place, man.
Like you said, bro, we went back to the place. We was there week 1, seeing the Classic. We was back Friday night. It wasn't a Classic, but it was a great football game for sure. It was one of them things when we got in the car to ride up to the game, you know what I mean? Talking to you, talking to Daniel. Shout out Daniel. Shout out LeVez. Shout out Lil Kev. They rode up to the game with us. And we ain't going to say who picked what. I'll say my brother was one that got it right. And I'll say Lil Kev got it right. You figure out the rest who was the other ones that didn't. But shout out to Maslin, man. Got it done 21-14. Beating St. Ed's, who was 4-0 coming into the game now, 4-1. Anytime you beat St. Ed's in anything at any time, it's a big-time win. Maslin got down early. Brandon White took the first carry, 66 yards to the house. And it was no panic for Maslin. No panic. They end up scoring 21 unanswered points after going down 7-0. And like I said, Brandon White took it to the crib on the first play. But after that, I felt like defense sat down, made some adjustments, composed themselves. And I felt like after that, the defense played a really, really solid game. I ain't going to say they dominated them because I felt like St. Ed's left some plays out there they normally would make. But I felt like the Maslin defense played lights out. We always talk about Logan Allman. We always talk about Jaden Williams. We're going to talk about him a little more in the show. We talk about the secondary. Shout out to Trayon Williams, Braylon Gamble, Deontay Malone. But it was 3 kids off that defense that really stuck out to me, man. I want to give them a little bit of love. Number 1 was junior Christian Collier. He was kind of playing like an outside backer, a nickel type, man. He was flying around the field, making tackles, almost had a couple picks, but you just felt his energy from being on the sideline. That kid was playing some football. Number 35, Chance White. I didn't see Chance in the first game against Glenville, so I'm not saying he wasn't in the picture, but it's my first time seeing him play. And you playing against St. Ed's, who got some big-time receivers, notably Zach Ackelman. You know what I mean? And he guarded him on the post a few times, and he guarded Zach a few times, and he held up good. So shout out to Chance White, man. You had a good game. And number 91, Samuel Dosis. Samuel Dosis, man. He coming off that edge. Anytime it was a pass rush opportunity, he bringing fire off that edge. Watching him against the run game, you could tell he still need to work a little bit on the run game. But anytime he coming off that edge in the pass game, he was coming with some energy. He was coming with some motor, and he was trying to get after the quarterback. So I wanted to shout out them 3 kids because everybody we talk, even us here, we talk about the regulars at Maslin. But I felt like them 3 kids stuck out, man, in a big-time win against St. Ed. So shout out to them kids. On the other side of the ball, the offensive line, I thought they won the battle of the line of scrimmage. Anytime you rush for 227 yards against St. Ed's, you don't got to say nothing else. So offensive line played great, especially as they got into the second half. You can really start to see the Maslin offensive line get pushed, even though they may get 4 or 5 yards, but they was getting pushed. And at that point, being that they was up, they was just trying to run clock, time possession, keep possession of the ball, and not turn it over. They were still being aggressive with their play calling as far as calling plays, but at that point, they knew they could just put it in number 1's belly, and he was going to get some forward lean, and the offensive line was doing work. I thought quarterback Manny Patterson, I thought he was efficient. I thought he did a great job managing the game, getting them in and out of huddle, making checks, making sure they lined up right, just managing the game. But I thought he was efficient also. You know what I mean? I thought he was very efficient. I thought he made one bad ball all night. That was the fade ball that got intercepted by Mekhi Boone. But outside of that, I thought Manny played a solid game, was efficient. It wasn't one of them games where he needed to make a lot of plays in the air. If you watched the game, you could tell early it was going to be a Xavier Owens type of night. They just needed him to kind of take care of the ball. He did make the one bad throw, but outside of that, I really thought he played good. And Maslin, I feel like this is the type of win that could kind of boost them and get them some momentum going into the second half of the regular season and see where they lie as they go into the playoffs. So great win by Maslin. A lot of people didn't see him winning that game. Is this the 4th year in a row they got St. Ed's?
It's the 4th year in a row.
It's the 4th year in a row they got St. Ed's, so big win by Maslin. So that's a big win. Players of the game. Let's talk about our players of the game real quick. Junior running back. My bad, Xavier, big dog. Junior running back, Xavier Owens. 32 carries, 162 yards, 2 touchdowns, and also had 4 catches for 60 yards. Ain't too much more we can say about Xavier. In that type of big-time game with the physicality, two of the probably 10, 15 best teams in the state of Ohio. That kid looked like he got stronger as the game went. And I ain't gonna lie, he a little faster than I thought. On that 45-yard touchdown, he got skinny. He got up out of there a little bit, man. So he a lot faster than what I thought. And this kid being only a junior, there's about to be a lot of schools knocking on his door with some offers, especially in the Midwest country. Because if you want a Midwest back, he that true Midwest back. So shout out to Xavier. And then on the other side, Jaden Williams, 9 tackles. He had a TFL, he had a fumble recovery, and he had a pick towards the end of the game. It did seal it, but it was kind of one of those plays that kind of pushed them closer to knowing they was probably going to hold on and get over the top. So shout out to them two guys. We'll talk about Jaden a little bit more. And their next game is at home against Clarkson from Canada. On the flip side, St. Ed's, man, they started off fast. The way Brandon White started it out, at first I'm like, ooh, is it going to be one of them type of nights? You know what I mean? Shout out to B. White, man, 66-yard touchdown on the first carry of the game, first play of the game. But after that, they went scoreless until a minute and 30 minute mark and left in the fourth quarter. And we just talked about the Massillon defense, so shout out to them for that. I thought the quarterback, Johnny Evanchik, I thought he was solid. I thought he made some throws. I thought he probably maybe a couple throws he would like to have back. All in all, I thought he was solid. But I thought as a whole, I thought the offense missed out on 3 big plays or could have been touchdowns. You know what I mean? 2 to Zach Hackelman, 1 on the post. I think 1 was a hitch and go, I think. And then 1 down the middle to Joe Moore off a play action. I'm sure if you ask Zach and Joe, they both going to tell you they should catch them balls, especially Zach. Zach, the post was a little tough and the hitch and go was tough. But if you ask me, do I expect Zach Hackelman to make a tough catch or do I expect Johnny Evanchik to make a perfect ball? I'm going to pick Zach every time. He the kid with the Division I offer going to Division I school. And I'm not saying Johnny is a bad player because he's not. I feel like Johnny put the ball in a good enough place for us to at least catch these balls and make these plays. I thought them 3 plays could be a little bit difference in the game. Not saying Massillon 1-1, but just momentum-wise and confidence-wise and making, you know, Joe and Johnny and Zach feel better about themselves. I thought that could have did dividends, but it didn't. And I thought them 3 plays really hurt them a little bit. Defensively, I thought their front 7 from St. Ed's, I thought they struggled. I thought the Massillon offensive line and the running backs and the tight ends, I thought they really got after them. I thought they won the battle of the line of scrimmage, which you don't hear a lot talking about St. Ed's. But I was impressed with St. Ed's on the back end. I thought their secondary had good nights. They going against Geo Jackson Jr., Deontay Malone, the Thig Pen kid who having a good year. They didn't really give up no ball. They didn't give up nothing over their head. Everything was caught in front of them. They tackled well. Makai Boone, shout out to Makai, going to Mineville, Ohio, had a big pick on Geo Jackson, which we know Geo Jackson fade ball in high school is almost like Steph Curry shooting free throws at this point. And he was able to make a good play on the ball and get a turnover. So I was impressed with the secondary, even though they lost. But overall, they got a great staff, a great head coach, and a good football team. I ain't worried about them going to watch film and clean up their mistakes and being able to come back. To one of your points you made, they also playing a tough schedule. I know Coach Lombardo would say that don't matter. But, you know, go get a week, get your legs back. Let's watch film. Let's make some adjustments. Let's clean up what we need to clean up. And there's nothing like losing. That's a lot of kids in. Even college or pro. You lose a game, my focus get a little bit more. You know what I mean? Coach been telling me to read high hat, low hat, and I read it 7 out of 10 plays. Now I'm reading it 10 out of 10 plays. The quarterback supposed to get a pre-snap, post-snap, where a lot of times he may say, okay, I'm just going to throw it to Zach. Now he's going to dial in a little bit more to the reads pre- and post-snap. So I ain't worried about him at all. Nobody ever wants to lose, but it could be a loss that's good for him in week 5, just to get them locked in a little bit more and let them know, hey, if you don't play your best ball, and you can still lose on any given Friday or Saturday. So, big-time game, bro. Their next game against Bishop McNamara, which, from Maryland. Now that I think about it, St. Ed's don't got weeks to kind of take off and, you know what I mean, and kind of regain their legs and move into the next week. But big-time football game, 2 great head coaches and staffs. The atmosphere was electric, as it always is. Shout out to Mr. Packish. Shout out to Mr. Goff. The hospitality was great. And it was another great night in Paul Brown's Tiger Stadium, brother.
Indeed, indeed, and like I said, I'm never one to toot my horn, but out of those who kind of foreseeing the outcome of this one, we don't like to publicly but on our way to the game with our own personal predictions.
Mm-hmm.
But shout out to both of those programs. They didn't disappoint. They gave us a great show, and I'll segue from right where you left off, where you say. Sometimes a loss will get you refocused, and that's kind of almost what happened that first play of the game.
Yeah.
Brandon White, Brandon White is Brandon White first and foremost.
Right,
so,
right.
You know what I'm saying? But
he gonna get his.
Him getting that long 66-yard touchdown at the very beginning of the game seemed to have locked Maslin in defensively because they pitched a shutout.
Yeah.
They pitched a shutout for down to less than 2 minutes left.
Yep.
Right, in the game. So that was one of them cases where it's like, okay, we woke. Like it's
real.
Maybe we were caught, maybe we were overhyped, and they locked in and pitched a shutout for 3 more quarters after that play. Another thing that you mentioned, and I know you spend a lot of times working with receivers, right?
Oh, yeah.
And you get spoiled by, say those you expect receivers to make those catches all the time.
No doubt.
But shout out Chase White, man. That was great defense on that
that
long ball. What I'm saying? But we get so spoiled with seeing Zach Hackelman make plays like that.
No doubt, bro.
But
no doubt, bro.
35, the junior safety, Chase White, that was a great play to break it up.
He was in a great position.
He did have a step on him, but he didn't give up on the play. Followed the breakup all the way through his hands.
Nice size kid, too.
Yeah, so, and that was a huge play.
It was.
You know what I'm saying? So, and those guys are champions,
If nothing else, for his confidence, because he got to be on that island the rest of the game.
Exactly.
So that was middle of the first quarter, towards back end of the first quarter?
It was early, right.
So now to kind of make him feel better about himself for the rest of the 3 nights. Because like you said, Brandon White is Brandon White. Zach Hackelman is Zach Hackelman. He watched that film. He know he's going against a bad boy. And to be able to make a play early, I think that was good for his confidence.
And with that defense locked in like that, you know what I'm saying? Add to the fact of the takeaways, the fumble recovery, the interception, and I'm sure, like I said, a lot of these guys that play on this St. Ed's team are champions already.
Yeah.
So they'll be the first one to tell you that they feel like they should have made those plays, and they competed all the way to the end. So
no doubt,
absolutely, everything you said. Xavier Owens, 32 carries.
Woo.
When his brother got the dub against him, it was 26 carries. So Coach Moore, he got trusted in the one and the savior. You know what I'm saying? He ain't gonna mix it up too much.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying? He a faithful man. He gonna go with the one and the savior every time.
Especially in them type of games.
For sure. You don't have to overcomplicate things. And I'll give a shout out to Coach Moore in those big games. He doesn't overcomplicate his game scheme.
No.
Like he'll spam
going to
it.
his boys.
He gonna go to his boys, and he gonna spam it if it's give it to number one for 15 times. If it works in the second half, he gonna get it 20.
Yep.
So and shout out to Manny Patterson too. You mentioned him. He had the questionable ball in the back of the end zone, but that kid is a psycho, man. You want a psycho leading your team every sometime.
Yeah.
Man. You get close to him, you see how fired up he
He
get.
a gamer. He with it.
Yeah, he's definitely with it. So
he with it. And then he got that good balance because while he playing, he's poised.
Exactly.
He ain't just being a hothead. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
He show you his passion at the right time when he need to show it to you. So, man, I wish bro, if that kid was like 6'2", 6'3", he probably had 30, 35 offers. That kid can play. Shout out to Manny. He can play.
For sure. So, those guys, like I said, shout out to both teams. They put a hell of a show on.
No doubt.
That's our Ellie House game of the week, man.
You know it.
Shout out Chase
and shout
White,
out to Maslin, man, again. Shout out to Coach Mr. Packers, Mr. Golf. We appreciate it. Unless we come back for a playoff game, that was it for us for this year.
Right.
So we appreciate the hospitality as always.
Yeah, man. Coach Stella, he worked with the receivers a lot, man. So he expect. Man, shout out Chase White, man. Good.
No, that was a good play.
Good play, man. Good
but
play.
As much as it was a good play, when it hit your hand, I ain't trying to hear that. because and this is why I say that though. talking to Zach, if I was Zach's coach, but talking to any big-time receiver. Because in the paper on Saturday morning, who's picturing there?
For sure.
When they put in the headline, whose name go up there? You know what I mean? So, to whom much is given,
and much is expected.
There you go.
I see you 3-5.
Yeah. You see, I gave him a shout out, though. He had a good game.
I see you
that kid had a
3-5.
good game. I like him, though.
Moving on.
Let's do it, brother.